Welcome to Next Gen Manufacturing Nexus. Today, we are diving deep into a huge shift that's happening in operations. We're talking about moving away from that constant chaos, that constant firefighting, and toward a much smarter, more strategic way to make sure our systems just don't fail. Let's get into how this reliability revolution is completely changing the game.
Oh, we've all been there, right? That jarring 2 a.m. alert. Your heart just pounds, you jump out of bed, and the frantic scramble to fix a production issue begins. This isn't some rare thing. It's a scenario that plays out every single day in ops teams all over the world, and it is a perfect example of what we are here to fix.
The main enemy in this whole revolution, it actually has a name: Toil. It's a term coined by the site reliability engineers over at Google. And Toil is all of that low-value, repetitive work that just eats up our time. It's basically the operational equivalent of running on a hamster wheel. You're always busy, but you're not actually going anywhere.
This just captures the feeling perfectly, doesn't it? While you're stuck wrestling with these manual, outdated processes, automation is already miles ahead. And that's the real essence of Toil. It's work that not only drains your energy, but it scales linearly. So as your service grows, the manual work you have to do grows right along with it. It's a totally unsustainable model, and it's holding you back from real innovation.
And that, right there, leads to the key frustration. As one manager on Reddit put it, "I'm tired of reactive maintenance." This constant cycle of only fixing things after they break, it's exhausting, it's demoralizing, and it stops you from doing the high-value work that actually improves the system for the long haul.
But here's the thing. The problem isn't just technical. It's cultural. When you're constantly fighting fires, it almost always leads to a culture of blame, where the focus isn't on what failed, but on who failed.
This quote from an engineer on the front lines really says it all. In a blame culture, the person who finds the problem, or even just reports it, they become the bad guy. And that creates this isolating, toxic environment where people are actually afraid to speak up, which means problems just stay hidden until it's way too late.
And this comparison just says everything, doesn't it? The language we use literally shapes our culture. On the left, we're pointing a finger directly at a person. But on the right, we're just stating a fact. The system failed. That simple shift in language changes everything. It moves the entire focus from individual fault to improving the process. So the crucial takeaway here is this. A blameless culture isn't about ignoring mistakes. Not at all. It's about assuming good intent. It's about recognizing that people don't fail, systems do. This creates the psychological safety you need to find the real root cause of a problem and then fix it for good.
Okay, so this cultural shift, from blame to blameless, well, that's the foundation for a whole new philosophy. It was born at Google, and it's called Site Reliability Engineering, or SRE. And it is a complete rethinking of how we do operations.
And this right here, this is the golden rule of SRE. No SRE is allowed to spend more than 50% of their time on ops work. The firefighting, the tickets, the toil. Why? Well, because if they're drowning in reactive work, they have absolutely no time left to build the solutions that are going to prevent that work in the future.
This chart breaks it down perfectly. Half of their time, by mandate, must be spent on engineering projects. We're talking automation, tooling, system improvements, and this isn't just a friendly suggestion. It's a hard limit that forces a proactive mindset. The rest of their time is then split between on-call duties and other operational tasks.
So the goal is to stop being tactical firefighters and start being strategic architects of reliability. The 50% rule is the mechanism that forces this shift. It literally compels the team to automate themselves out of a job, to constantly be engineering solutions that eliminate toil and prevent future incidents from ever happening. The SRE philosophy also demands a new way of communication. So instead of all these emotional arguments and finger-pointing, we need a common language that's based on cold, hard data.
And it all starts with a pretty simple process. First, you ask, what do our users actually care about? That's your service level indicator, or SLI, things like system speed or uptime. Then you set a clear goal for it, like 99.9% availability. That becomes your service level objective, or SLO. But the magic is what's left over. That tiny 0.1% becomes your error budget, the precise data-driven amount of unreliability your team is allowed to spend while innovating.
You see, this framework is revolutionary because it basically ends the age-old war between developers who want to ship new features and operators who want perfect stability. The error budget is the deciding factor. Is there budget left? Awesome, ship that new feature. Is the budget spent? Okay, all hands on deck to improve reliability. It's a conversation driven by data, not by drama.
All right, so we have the culture and we have the data framework. Now let's talk about the tech. To actually execute on this vision, you absolutely need the right tools, and you need them organized in a smart way.
A really brilliant way to think about your tech stack is this brain, eyes, and hands framework. So the brain, that's your analysis software, doing the heavy statistical lifting to figure out when things might fail. The eyes are your predictive monitoring systems, watching your equipment 24/7. And finally, the hands are your execution systems that actually manage the work orders and get the job done. So let's look at a few concrete examples. For the brain, you've got analysis tools like Reliasoft. For the eyes, you've got predictive platforms like IBM Maximo. And for the hands, you have a computerized maintenance management system, or a CMMS, like Macula. This is the system of record that turns those alerts into real action for your technicians.
Now, when you combine the right culture with the right data framework and the right tools, you get a fundamental transformation. Your team's entire identity starts to shift.
You stop being the person who just shows up when things are on fire. You evolve. You become what some in the industry now call a reliability ninja or an uptime expert, a true architect of a resilient and flawless system.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Take a look at your own team, your own operations. Are you still stuck in that endless, exhausting cycle of reactive firefighting? Or are you ready to become architects of reliability? The tools and the philosophy are out there. The revolution is happening right now.